everybody, it's Tuesday, and once again it's time for another Tech Lab Tuesday episode. Today we're going to talk, and I want you to concentrate because we're going to talk about concentricity. Yeah, what is round, what is not round, what makes this world go round. We've got to have concentric valves, we've got to have concentric seats. We can guess at it all day long, but you've heard me say many times before, and by gosh, I'm going to say it again, if you're not measuring, you're just guessing. So, to that result, we have measuring tools. The first tool I'm going to talk about is our VCG16. That's this little guy right here. Now, we get this from our good friends at New Way, and they've been manufacturing this very affordable valve stem to valve face concentricity gauge. And it's a very simple tool to use. It tells us what we want to know. We can't run bent valves. We can't have a valve that's not concentric from its face to its stem. And so it's got carbide balls that actually you set the valve onto. And what we want to do is try to position those balls between where the wear surface is as this valve is riding in the valve guide. So right in this area here is where we're going to set that up. You've got a depth stop here, so as you change out the valves, whether they be intake or the exhaust, that once you set this stem depth gauge here, then it'll get right back to the correct position for measuring. But there's one thing I want to bring to your attention. You got to stem height these valves, okay? You got to stem grind them. Put these in on the butt side of your valve refacer, and that'll square that up 90 degrees. If this has been pushed on by a rocker arm and is all boogered up, you're never going to get a good reading from your concentricity gauge because it'll fluctuate according to all them boogers that are left there on the end. So square that off on the butt end of your valve refacer before you use the VCG16 valve concentricity gauge. From that point right here, we've got a 1,000 style indicator. We adjust that up and down according to our head diameter, because our stem, like I mentioned earlier, is going to ride on these carbide balls. So I've got this kind of semi set up. This is spring loaded, and all that does is work with gravity to kind of help keep that valve stem pressed against those carbide balls. So when my dial indicator makes contact with that valve face, what we want to do is find that center angle. In most cases, it'll be on the 45, but with all the interesting configurations and build plans that you guys are coming up with out there, just find whatever that center angle is on the valve. Lock that down. Be sure you put a little bit of load on your dial indicator as well. And then it's just very simple. From that point, we just rotate that head and we watch our dial indicator move, and in 1,000th increments we can tell whether this is a good valve or a bad valve. Now, valves come in a variety of different sizes. Everything from here down to a 4mm stem we can handle. On a head diameter, it's about 2/600, something very close to this or this. I can't put this one in there. No, it's too big for that little tool. But the same thing happens here as happens here. I need a stem concentric to the face. I need the face concentric to the stem. It's very important that we do that. And again, the only way to confirm is to measure it, because like I said, if you're not measuring, everything else is just a guess. Now, we've got a good concentric valve. We know all these valves are good. So now I'm going to try to confirm that my valve seat is also concentric. So when it comes to valve seat concentricity, we also have to have a measuring tool that. The first one I want to talk about is our VSG375. Now, this thing fits both a 375 top size pilot or a 385 top size pilot. It's got a dial indicator in 1,000th increments, 0.001. It has an adjustment finger here that makes contact with the center line of the valve seat. Like we wanted to find the center angle on this valve, we also want to find the center angle on this valve seat, and that's when we want our touch-off probe to make contact with. And this knob gives you that adjustment. Once you make that adjustment for the contact, you want to go ahead and zero your scale, and it's very simple to use at that point. We're just watching the dial indicator give us our plus or minus reading, and in this case I can see that indicator moving almost 3,000. So I've got some run out on this valve seat. Now, I don't know if it's because the ID of the valve guide is not incorrect, but I know from the center line of that valve guide to where this valve seat is located, I've got a 2 to 3 thousandths run out. That's not acceptable. We need to tighten that up best we can. Of course, zero's maybe a world we can't all get to, but you want to get as close to zero as possible. If you want to take it to the next level, you can go in tenths increments. 0.001, 1/10 of 1,000th increments. And that's our SCG 375. Now we only offer this for 375 top pilots. And again, it's a very accurate tool. It's very expensive as well. What I like about this tool versus this tool is, you notice I had to move this tool all the way around and kind of watch that dial as it moved around. The beauty of this tool, again, I have to go through a process of setting it up on a 375 pilot. I also have to adjust my contact probe, again, to the center angle that I'm trying to measure. But what I really like about this tool is I can just move the probe below it and then measure my concentricity based on the movement of that needle. I don't have to follow it around. You get a little dizzy if you're doing this all day long. So I can just hold this and then take that measurement there. And again, the closer you can get to the zero factor, ID of the valve guide to the center line of the center angle on the valve seat, you measure as close to zero as possible, you're getting to concentricity. It's concentric. And that's where we get a good interference, we get a good seal of that combustion chamber, where we can produce all that horsepower you guys are creating in your laboratories out there in the engine shop spread out across this great country of ours. So once again, if you're not measuring, it's only a guess. It's important that you measure in all incremental steps, not only the machining itself, but the confirmation that the machining was done correctly. And we provide those tools to you, our valued customers. If you have any questions, give us a call at 1-800-533-8010 or catch us on the web at goodson.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.